What's up? What's going on? And welcome to we're gonna call this what are we gonna call it? The BlessBody Fit podcast?
Sure.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds
So I'm
good.
Joe, and this is,
Olivia, hi.
and we're just gonna take some time and spend some time talking to us, and just give us some ideas of what we can do in just like this general fitness world. Like, there's so much going on in the world today, and it's like I think we'd be better off if we had an idea of what we were doing, especially the start of a new year and getting people going, and I find that people are just like quitting their New Year's resolutions and stuff already. It's kind of
For sure.
crazy, So are you seeing any of that happening, Liv? I
No,
mean,
absolutely. I mean, I feel like I haven't even seen that many people have New Year's resolutions in general.
oh, so you haven't even seen people get started.
No, like I feel like people are less motivated than ever.
Oh wow. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think the people who are working out are already working out, and the people who aren't just feel like they never really needed to, or they never really have any idea where to start, really.
Mm, that's interesting. I mean, because it's like, so you're saying that, so basically if we went to the gym right now, I'm not going to name any purple places or anything in that regards, but that's where a lot of the people go, and that's fine. I mean, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people are actually training and working out in that regards. But you're saying that the people that are going to train are the ones that are going to train, and the ones that aren't going to do it.
Yeah, I feel like there's already the people who are into training or into whatever they like, whether it's lifting or cardio or whatever it is that they really find their workout, I don't know, style to be. And that's fine and that's great. And I'm so happy that that's grown.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there's still a large portion of people that have no idea where to start and feel
Wow.
like there's so much information floating around out there that people really don't know what to take and what to leave.
Yeah.
And it can be confusing.
Right. So why don't we do this today? Why don't we share some general kind of fitness tips and things and clear up some misconceptions that people may have, that hopefully it can be encouraging to some people just to kind of get rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
And I just know from just a person that's in the trenches and trying to get in better shape myself,
Yeah.
and that it's hard.
It is. It is.
Like, it's tough to get up every day and
Man.
and try to get your nutrition together, and your cardiovascular system and your muscular strength and your muscular endurance and your flexibility, and trying to keep your body composition to a certain place. It's hard to do, even knowing what to do.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So, but I think what would help would be if we can share some things that could help people clear up some of the misconceptions and stuff that they may have. What do you think?
I think that's great. And like I said, there's so many out there. There's so many things people talk about, and people who have no idea what they're talking about, and they'll spread information and people will take it, and it could be demotivating to just, there's a trend 1 minute and a new trend that says the opposite the next. So what are things that are tried and true? What are things that we know work?
Yeah.
Like, stick to those things.
Well, let's help some people today.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
All right, let's do it.
Because when it comes to fitness myths, we'll call them fitness myths. How about that?
Okay. Yeah.
Because they're everywhere. They're at the gym.
For sure.
Now especially if you scroll through like Instagram or
Everywhere.
Facebook or some type of social media, somebody out there is having you do something that they believe they're an expert at.
Yeah.
Expert.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said expert.
Did I get it right? Expert. Sometimes it's tough to switch the language real quick, but expert, right?
Yeah.
And I checked this out. Also, one time this guy had like the squat rack, and he was holding on to the squat rack.
Okay.
And then he was like running on a treadmill.
Why?
I have no idea.
Doesn't a treadmill have handles?
Yeah, but he was holding the squat rack.
Like what was he doing? Just running?
I don't understand it.
Oh.
Doesn't make any sense. But if you go to his page, I can't remember the guy's name. There's a whole bunch of just random stuff that literally has to be a complete gym liability.
No, that's crazy.
Accident waiting to happen.
They'll kick you out immediately.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I don't understand that. But
I don't either.
Even from, well-meaning friends, people that intend to help you.
Yeah.
And they can still give you insights and direction that may not lead to the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
But knowing what doesn't work is just as important as knowing what does.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's break down some common misconceptions.
Okay.
And what we should do instead to train so we can train smarter and get better results.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna let you handle this first one.
Okay.
There's a misconception out there that says that if I do more exercise, if I work out more, the more I do is always better. Let's train 8 days a week. More is better.
Yeah, let's train 28/7.
Yeah, 28/7, right. Tell me about that. Is more always better, Liv?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You need to, obviously people have a life. That's
right.
most important. There are other things going on, and that can scare people away from even starting their gym progress because they think, oh, I have to go to the gym every day. I have to go at 5 a.m. I have to have this whole routine.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You can start at a place that works for you.
Yeah.
And honestly, some people who go to the gym 3 or 4 days a week are getting better workouts than people who go every single day or do stuff every single day because they're being intentional about it. They're actually being present during their workouts. They take the time to make sure that what they're doing is right. They look into it, and they might be more efficient, and they're getting the rest and recovery, which is just as important.
Say that again. Talk about how when you recover, that your body gets stronger from recovery.
Yes.
Say touch a little bit on that, just a little bit more, because overtraining and burnout and injury and fatigue and all that stuff is real.
Yes. So I actually heard this one time from a professor that I had. They said that overtraining syndrome isn't a thing. It's just under recovery. And I think
so
that's
overtraining.
So true.
You said overtraining.
Yes.
It's under recovery is the thing.
Yes. It's just under recovery because you can train. Our bodies are capable, obviously, of doing so many things, and we should absolutely push it.
Yeah.
But also, if you're not doing the things to recover, if you're not replenishing your body, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not getting good sleep, it's never going to work. It could to some extent, but at some point you're going to get fatigue, you're going to get injury, you're going to burn out, or, whatever it is. And any of those injuries or stress injuries or whatever, you don't need to overdo it.
Yeah. So we can train hard 3 to 5 days a week. If that, we want to prioritize our sleep.
Absolutely.
Prioritize our nutrition, prioritize our hydration.
Yes.
So
that's something even I'm bad at, honestly.
So we just busted that one. More is not always better because you have to have a moment in there where you can recover and get better. No more. What you said? Would you say 28, 25/7?
28/7.
28/7. 28/7. All right. And for people that don't understand what 28/7 is, explain to them what 28/7 is.
Just training every single second.
Well, yeah, 28 days a week.
Yeah.
28
hours.
28 hours a week.
7 days a week. 28 hours, 7 days.
28 hours a day. 7 days a week. I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, and and when there are only 24 hours in a day, right?
Right.
Okay. There we go. All right. So how about this one? Lifting heavy is the only way to get strong. Huh?
Yeah, I don't. This one, it's rough because I think you should lift heavy to some extent.
Well, I think that people need to understand what strong is.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so when we talk about strength, like what perspective are we coming from? You know what I mean? Are we because you can take like I'll give you an example. Like I work with a lot of wrestlers. Okay. Yeah. They may not necessarily have a the bench press of a football player.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But they don't need it. But they're super strong when it comes to pushing and pulling.
Very strong.
Pushing and things in that regards when it comes to actual functional strength training.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the things that I find. Like we'll say it like this. So if you have let's just say you're a power lifter or whatever it is, and you have let's say you have a 500-pound 500-pound squat.
Okay.
All right. So if you can 500-pound squat on 2 legs, does that mean that you should be able to do 250 on each?
You would think.
You would think so.
You would think.
If it was just about that.
Right.
Right. So there's a functional component. Mm-hmm. So lifting heavy, it doesn't necessarily always translate over that you're going to be like the strongest.
Right.
You can have a max. You can lift max weights to build muscle and strength is what people believe. Mm-hmm. But here's the deal. Strength is about control.
Yeah.
It's also about efficiency.
Yes.
And it's also about consistency.
Yes. Because, can I interject here?
Go ahead. It's on you.
If you have people who are lifting, so much weight all the time and they heavy lift and, people go in the gym and you're impressed by that. Maybe you're intimidated by that. But now you decrease their rest time.
Right.
Now you add in maybe a plyometric. Now you add in, okay, they have to go super slow or they have to do faster reps or whatever. Right. And you do any of those things to change their workout and they're going to be tired out. Like there's more to strength. There's more to the body and what it does than just brute strength.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. So we want to mix it in, like whatever, like make the body as strong as it can, like with heavy lifting, body weight movement exercises,
in all ways.
Yeah, and find ways to the functional train so that you can build like some real world strength.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what good are you if you have, the best physique or the biggest, I don't know, squat if you can't make it up a flight of stairs without getting out of breath.
Right. I had somebody say to me one time, and it was kind of offensive, I think, to me.
Okay.
But I'm not mad because it did change my the way that I train. Like I used to do like a lot of bodybuilding and stuff.
Yeah.
And this, I was out in LA for this training, and there was this move. I think they had muscle ups.
Okay.
They're having us do muscle ups, and I came in pretty decent as far as my physique goes, and I couldn't get this muscle up down at the time. And this guy walks up to me. He's like, "Yeah, built like Tarzan, trained like Jane," and I was like,
so funny.
What?
Oh no.
He said, "Yeah, you're built like Tarzan, but you train like Jane."
Oh no.
And I said, hold up. So what are you saying? What are you trying to say? Like, yeah, he said, "Dude, your physique is amazing." He said, "But you have to find ways to be more functional."
Wow.
With your training. And I said, okay.
That one might knock me into place. I'm not gonna lie. That one might.
But it really helped put things in perspective for me.
Yeah,
like when I heard what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it goes back to what you're saying. It's not about just looking apart. But can you literally functionally do things and get things done?
Yeah. And then obviously as you're aging, as people are getting older, then you want those functional things because those are the things that actually matter.
Right.
At the end of the day, like, bodybuilding, there's nothing wrong with that for a time, but if that's how you're consistently working out, if that's your lifestyle, it's not necessarily sustainable. And when you're older, like, is that going to help you be able to get off the couch or get upstairs or play on the floor with your grandkids?
Right.
It might not. It might not be the thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. You want to build functionally. You want everything that you build to actually be able to work to serve a greater purpose, like it's supposed to, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So let's do this. I hear this one quite often. If you're not sweating, you're not working out hard enough.
Yeah.
And
I hear this a lot too.
The myth, the conception is that sweat equals effort.
No.
What do you said no right away.
No.
Sweat. So sweat. We know. Yeah. Let's go ahead and break that one down. Sweat.
It just
equals effort.
It just doesn't. Like it depends on a person's physiology, their makeup. Obviously, everybody's body is different, but also certain people who work out more, they're gonna sweat sooner. So if you're somebody who's new to the gym and you're like, oh, like I didn't even start sweating yet, you might not, like your body isn't adapting as fast as somebody who's been working out for years. So you're going to see somebody in the gym who's been in the gym for 10, 15 years and they're sweating maybe a lot, maybe, whatever. It's just, it just doesn't, in my opinion, it just doesn't even make sense. Like it doesn't mean that you're any better or doing any worse. It doesn't the amount that you sweat doesn't affect how much muscle you're building, how much strength you're building. It doesn't help. It doesn't negate it either. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really have any correlation to your strength.
and I follow you on that. I think sometimes where it comes from, I saw a t-shirt one time.
Okay.
And it said that sweat is fat crying.
Oh no.
I mean,
I've seen that actually. Have seen that.
You have that shirt?
No, I don't have it. I've seen it though.
Oh, you've seen it.
No.
Oh, I was going to say I was hoping that you didn't.
Goodness. If I did, take it from me. Own
that shirt. I hope you didn't have that shirt. But that I think that ties right in there. If you're not sweating, you're not working hard enough. That misconception right there, that sweat does not equal effort, and that sweat depends on temperature.
Right.
I mean, to be honest with you, if we go outside and it's 95 degrees and you can just sit there.
Yeah.
And the humidity is 85%. You're going to sweat.
Yeah.
Just because it's your body's way of cooling itself down. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
And like, I don't know. I think a lot of times people who are trying to get into weight loss, they have like those sweatsuits and they're doing all of that stuff. They get on the treadmill and they walk for like forever. And then they're like in their sweatsuit and I'm like, aren't you miserable? You know what I mean? And like there are other ways that you can do this that doesn't entail putting yourself into your own little bubble all the time to sweat, and then you're just I can't imagine that would become. I've never tried one, honestly, but
from wrestling, we've had to like cut weight before. I've had to cut weight, and so it's just we cut weight. Like when we sweat, we just try to get whatever extra water weight out. It's not changing our body composition. It's not giving us any more muscle. It's not reducing, it's not reducing our body fat or anything. Because our body fats are normally pretty low at that point. But it's
like like after a workout, and say you sweat a lot during a workout, you step on the scale, you might see, oh, I lost like a pound. That's just water weight. You're gonna gain it back as soon as you have a meal with water, as soon as you have water,
as soon as you
hydrate, which you should be hydrated, but that's not what you want to be changing. You want to be changing that fat into muscle, like you said, body composition, like and that sweat isn't really affecting that.
So basically is that we got to focus on performance and progress.
Absolutely.
And not just how much you sweat.
Yeah. Should we lead into
well, I got one for you.
Okay.
I got one for you.
Okay.
All right, because I think this is kind of right up your alley as far as what you talk about all the time. Okay. Now we'll start with this, and then we'll kind of lead into, because this is gonna fire you up. I think this next one's gonna fire you up, and you're gonna have so much to say about this next one. But we'll start off in a way that I think people can understand, and then we'll break from there. But crunches. Look at you already.
See, you were right.
Crunches will give you a 6-pack. That's 100% fact, right?
No. Okay, I know a lot of people will watch different athletes workouts, and maybe divers, maybe fighters, they'll do a lot of crunches, and that's fine. Doing that for your sport, that's a totally different story. But I think in general, if you're trying to just get a 6-pack, people need to understand that there's more to your core than just abs.
Yes.
Just your abs, just changing that isn't always what's going to do it. You know what I mean? Like some people naturally have like, the top of their abs, like everybody's like, oh, I have the top two, but I can never get the bottom of the six pack. Like I can never get the bottom of the six pack. Like there's more to your abs.
Right.
Or there's more to your core than just abs. And I think that's something that people overlook so often.
Yeah. So I'm going to pause.
Just for a second, I'm going to be off and running.
So let's clear up this misconception real quick. Yeah. Okay. About the whole thing about the six pack thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, you cannot crunch your way to abs.
No.
Okay. I don't care if you did 1,000 a day. You can't crunch your way to abs. Okay. Abs are made in the kitchen.
100%.
Okay. And this, a lot of times it's genetic as well. But abs are made in the kitchen. So the less body fat that you have covering your rectus abdominis muscles in the front there, the more visible your abs are going to be. Bottom line. Okay. Now, I'm gonna kick it back over to you.
Okay.
All right. So explain to us that. Let's talk about this core.
Okay.
Because people just see like the six pack, they see the rectus abdominis muscles right in the front, and they figure like, wow, this guy has or this girl has abs. They're like the greatest shape or whatever it is. Yeah. But let's talk about what the core is a little bit more, and what is the point of the actual structure of all of that. Okay.
Yeah. So your core, yes, it involves your abs. Obviously, that's a big part of it. That's the thing that most people really look to, or that they're trying to get for physique or a certain look. But there is more to it than that. A lot of people overlook your obliques, which is this, your sides, your strength on your sides. People overlook your hip flexors. People overlook your hips. People overlook your back, your low back. Right. That's such an
probably trained area, right?
Under-trained area. Yeah. Like I think
because you can't see it.
Yeah.
It's not visible. Fine. Like no one's walking around like, oh my goodness, your back.
They're low back. Like
right. I see what you're saying.
Unless you have like super striations, like nobody's gonna look at your low back and be like, oh yeah, they're super fit, they work out. But there's more to it than that. And it involves everything. If you have problems with posture, if you have problems, keeping your shoulders back, if you have problems,
as I'm trying to
right? I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, oh, should I straighten up?
Chest up, shoulders back, a little bit more conscious there when it comes to that now. But anyways, I do follow what you're saying.
But all of that is incorporated, and I like what you said actually a bit before this about abs are made in the kitchen. So if you do want abs, you need to be eating, but it goes back again to that body composition.
Yeah.
So whatever you're eating, you want to change that fat that, maybe you have covering those abs into maybe more muscle. And you can do that to some extent, but like there's also more to it than that. Like you want to be able to hold yourself up. You want to be able to keep your posture. You want to be able to squat correctly.
Right.
Keep your spine straight. Like,
so
there's so many more things.
And I get what you're saying about posture, because we're in a world now where most people sit during the day all day long. And so everything kind of begins to kind of shut off and shut down, and hip flexors become tight. And a big one when it comes to core is your glutes.
Yes.
Your glute muscles back there.
Yeah.
The muscles that you actually sit down on all day long. That's like literally a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And
also, can I interject here?
No, go ahead.
And also with your hamstrings, if you have somebody who sits a lot, maybe your hamstrings are so tight that also pulls on your low back. That'll make it hard to sit. That'll make it hard to keep your posture. Again, all the more reason to focus on your core that also incorporates your low back and those posture muscles.
So full body workouts.
For sure, yeah.
Planks, deadlifts.
Overhead carries,
farmer's walk, farmer carries.
Yeah.
And a clean diet.
That's honestly one of the biggest things.
And a clean diet when it comes to those particular things.
Absolutely.
I think that, those are huge and those are very important when it comes to that. How about if we do let's get one more in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So here's this one. Fitness is just about looks. Is that a myth or is that the truth? Fitness is just about looks. What do you think?
Well, some people.
Some people.
Some people. And listen, that's fine. If you're not happy with the way that you look, obviously there's probably more going on than just that.
Right.
But that's not necessarily something bad to want to change if you're like, hey, I'm a little overweight, I need to lose weight. Hey, I want to put on some muscle, whatever it is. But that's not, again, it's not going to be as sustainable. You're going to want to give up. And you said this at the beginning with the New Year's resolutions. If you're just trying to lose weight or you're trying to get to a certain body fat percentage because you want to be super lean.
Right.
Like it's going to be harder to stick to that, especially in that first 3 weeks when you're not seeing any progress and you're not feeling like you changed anything. Right. But really, that's when the change is just starting. That's when you're starting to make actual changes inside of your body that you're not seeing yet.
I call that the quit zone. It's the quit zone.
I like that.
Like it literally is like the first 3 to 4 weeks of your training.
Yeah.
Like you just worked on creating the habits and behaviors you're going to need to be able to sustain the growth that you're getting ready to have.
Yeah.
It's almost like I kind of alluded to like almost like a bamboo plant where it builds its roots first before it has its exponential growth.
Yeah.
And no matter who you are or whatever you're beginning when it comes to any type of goals that you have, you're going to have a place in there where you're going to want to quit. And if it's something that you should be doing, you got to be to push through that quit zone. And in order to do that, you have to look deeper inside yourself and see the bigger picture and understand like, okay, well, motivation's gone right now. Right?
Yeah.
That flame that I
left a week ago.
That was gone a week ago, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to find something that's inspirational. And generally that is your I call them the logs in the fire. All right. So if I strike a match, right, that's motivation.
Right.
So now I got a fire going, and guess what? That flame's gonna soon to go out.
Yeah.
Now when it goes out, like if everything I was doing was resting on motivation, there goes my program.
Yeah.
Right. But if I just took that match and I attached it to a log, something sustainable, like, okay, well, I'm doing this for my mental health. I'm doing this for my physical health. I'm doing this for my, my relational health. I'm doing it for my spiritual health. And now you're finding more logs or more areas in your life. I'm doing this so that I can create a ripple effect. I want to be able to inspire somebody on my job or at school or a relative or somebody.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, okay, it's bigger than myself and I want to be able, those are the things that are going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
And
that kind of leads into what I was saying earlier about what is sustainable and what you want to do with your life. And when you're just focusing on physique, maybe you're not getting to, like I said, maybe when you're aging, you're not going to be able to get up some stairs. Maybe you want to be able to play with your grandkids on the floor. You want to be able to pick them up. Can you lift them over your head? Like those are all reasons that are bigger than yourself. And it leads into like your quality of life. And are you happy with what you're doing? Can you carry out your daily functions very well, easily? Can you age gracefully?
Yeah. Those can be like logs that
absolutely
motivation can get you started, but it is what is going to keep you going. And like you're saying, like if you don't have a cause much larger than yourself, something that is actually tangible, that's bigger than you. I remember I was working with this guy, and he was like 94 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was 94 years old, and he was taking care of his wife had just had a knee replacement, I believe. It was a knee replacement. And she was almost 90 years old herself.
Wow, okay.
Okay. So he would come in and he would come and he would train. He would get on the treadmill. We'd go forwards and backwards on the treadmill. We have him doing push-ups and pull-ups and pulling with bands.
93?
At 93 years old.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I respect that
a
lot.
Literally, he came in and and he was just happy.
Yeah.
There was like a joy to him.
Mm.
And so I'd ask him, I said, what is the key?
Yeah.
To living to 94 years old? And he was just like, you just got to just be grateful.
Mm.
Like, I don't think anybody that lives to 94 and everything's going well for themselves, like, says, wakes up and says, you know what, that's my goal, to live to 94.
Right.
I think it's probably like the daily things that you do.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up. I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to take care of the people that matter to me most.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share love and show love and find and do the best I can to take care of myself. Like, I think it's just all about like just finding ways to win your day.
Mm.
And then when you win your day, like, those days will become weeks.
Mm.
And those weeks will become months, and those months become the years, and the years become the decades, and the decades become your life.
And one day you wake up and you're 93 still doing push-ups.
One day you wake up, you're 90, exactly. And I think that's what happened. It's if we are granted life that long and we're able to be functional, I think that it has to start with being grateful for all the little things that happen every single day.
Yeah.
So if we're going to talk about true fitness is about strength.
Yeah.
It's about endurance. It's about mobility. It's about feeling great in everyday life.
Yeah.
So you can be around for the people that matter to you most. So, so fitness isn't just about looks.
No.
I love the example that you give about being able to play with your grandkids and which means that means that you got to have strength and mobility later in life.
Yeah.
If that's going to be the case or the goal or whatever it may be. So would you suggest that people start as soon as possible?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody should be in some sort of fitness, whatever that looks like for you. And again, we talked about this, so it doesn't have to be every single day. It doesn't have to be for 3 hours at a time. You could start with 30 minutes. You could go out, do something for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Whatever that looks like, just starting, just building that momentum, and then finding those reasons, those logs on the fire, finding those things that are going to keep you going when you don't want to, when you're out of motivation, because there's more to it than that, and you just have to be reminded of that.
That's good. So basically, you want to train to move better.
Yes.
Right? You want to train to feel better.
Yes. Yeah.
Train to perform better.
Yeah.
And not just for a look.
Absolutely.
So so learn to love yourself. Learn to be grateful for who you are and where you are right now, and just start making those simple changes that you can make during the day, like throughout your life. And so let's finish this out, and let's just kind of get just a quick overview of what people should do to build a strong, well-rounded body that lasts a lifetime.
Okay, so
go ahead and start it off.
We already talked about strength training, but it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be super heavy. You don't have to be lifting 500 pounds. You can if you want, I guess, but it doesn't have to be that excessive. Just maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
So number one, you would say let's strength train.
Strength train, absolutely.
And basically 3 to 4 times a week on the strength training.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to help us build some muscle, maybe reduce the indication of or the incidence of maybe some injuries and things in that regards, right?
Yes.
I got one. How about just move more?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't necessarily have to go to the gym. Move more.
Yeah. Just day to day.
Day to day movement. Like take a walk.
Yeah. If you do have a desk job, get up and walk around. Walk on. My mom, she walks on her lunch break every single day. Yeah. Nice. She works a lunch break. Okay. She works at a desk job. And she has a lunch break, gets up, she walks every single day.
Nice. Congrats to your mom. Kudos to her. Yeah. So how about this? How about hiking?
Love it. You get sunshine, you get outside, fresh air.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So move more.
Just in general.
More in general. Right. Now you can mix your cardio and your agility work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because that gets fun. Because then that doesn't feel like working out is boring or mundane or tedious. Then you could do fun things. You could just do maybe some boxing lessons. You could do some different stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. So you want to, so that's going to help us keep our heart and our body reactive.
And that's kind of an all-in-one right there too.
Yeah. 100%. How about train core stability? This goes back to your training the whole core, not just abs.
Yeah. Well, balance. I think so many people have terrible balance. And as an instructor, I've seen this time and time again.
Yes.
Where they'll come up to, oh, I have terrible balance. Like, I just can't do this. And they like can't stand on one leg.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's part of your core. You know what I mean? Like you should be able to stand on one leg. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So that's good. How about this? How about stretching and having the mobility, being able to move? I think that's important too. Because you don't want to be like rigid, like the Tin Man, and you can't don't have any flexibility.
WD-40.
So basically, learning how to keep the joints healthy, being able to move through a full range of motion, and keep those muscles moving well.
And if you're at that point where you are working your ranges of motion consistently,
right?
You don't always have to stretch. And I know this is a little bit of a hot take, but you can stretch. That's important. But if you're working those ranges of motion, you have good mobility and you're incorporating that into your workouts. You don't necessarily need to.
I follow you.
I just wanted to add that.
Listen, I think every little tidbit right now is going to help with the overall what we should do.
Yeah.
So that we can be well-rounded.
For sure.
To build a body that lasts a lifetime. At least our lifetime or whoever's lifetime, right? And another major one is recover well.
And we talked about this.
We talked about that, with sleep and hydration.
Yeah.
And literally being intentional about taking rest days.
Yeah.
I have to have a confession to make. And I kind of learned this. I don't want to say the hard way, but there was a time period. I went 5 years straight, no days off.
That's a different level. I don't know.
5 days. I mean, it was 5 years straight, no days off. And I worked myself to the place where I got to the place remember one time I got the flu real bad. And I still got up and I still worked out and I still trained. And it was not smart at all.
You regretted that.
I suffered so bad.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was just like, I'm on the streak and I got to keep going. and it wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
But what I did was, as part of those, so what I did was I actually planned in active recovery days and I counted them as a workout.
I was actually going to say that. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah.
Active recovery days where it was like stretching and corrective movements and things in that regards. And that's where I was like, wow, it's like a workout as well.
Yeah.
So
even if like you said, when you said just to move more,
yes.
Even if those moving more days are your rest days,
yes.
And you're somebody who's like, oh, I can't sit still. Like I need to do something. I need to feel like, not speaking from experience or anything, but
that sounds like a little personal over there.
But if you're like that and you feel like you can't take any rest days, just doing things like going for a walk or doing yoga or something, some light intensity, just moving around and doing something where you're not sitting, not being sedentary. I think that can help a lot. And then you still get some benefits and then you don't feel like you're not doing nothing.
Good deal. And another one is you got to eat smart.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You got to eat smart. You got to fuel your body with protein, with healthy fats and whole foods. And we're not going to go deep into that today at all because
that's a whole other discussion.
That's a whole other discussion for another day.
Yeah.
But you want to eat smart.
Yeah.
And so strength train, move more, mix cardio and agility to work. What else we got on there? Train the core.
Yeah.
Train core stability,
recovery,
strengthen and work on your mobility and eat smart.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for today. Liv, you want any final thoughts?
I don't think so. I think it might sound like a lot, especially if you're just coming into it, but it really isn't. You don't have to do everything all at once.
Yeah.
Pick one thing to focus on, one thing to incorporate.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. Like you said, take it day by day. Literally just say, you know what, today I'm going to wake up and do this. And then the next day say, you know what, today I'm going to wake up and do this.
That's good.
And plan it in and
just win your day.
Yeah.
Win your day.
Yeah.
Be like the 94-year-old. Just win your day. Be gracious.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So train for life. Not just for the mirror. You know, so focus on your strength and your endurance and your mobility and smart recovery.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to keep you strong at any age. So we want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
I'm Joe.
I'm Olivia.
And until next time, peace. We're out.
Bye.